The Jedi Temple Massacre, better known as Operation Nightfall, remains as one of the most haunting moments in all of Star Wars. This sacred heart and home of the Jedi Order, a beacon of wisdom, power for generations, was destroyed in a single night. Not just the men, but the women and children too were all butchered without mercy. And they weren't just killed, they were hunted, cut down in their own sanctuary. But how did these horrific events play out? What happened on the night of Operation Nightfall? As Anakin rose after being declared Lord Vader, Sidious declared the Jedi Order a threat to the Galactic Republic, assigning Vader the task of marching through the halls of the Jedi Temple and eliminate the growing threat. And with him to kill the Jedi, a large detachment of troopers from the 501st Legion was transferred to Coruscant to serve Lord Vader. However, there's also a very interesting fact that takes place during this. You see, Sidious did not actually know of Vader's true intentions for taking part of the raid on the Jedi Temple. Vader actually realized that Sidious had been manipulating him all along after the murder of Mace Windu, and when Palpatine admitted that he did not know how to save Padme. So Vader intended to help destroy the Jedi and Republic because he knew they would never understand Windu's death in the context that it was to help save the one he loved, as this was against the will of the Order's tenets, and that in the eyes of the Republic law, they would brand him as a traitor for it. He planned to assist Sidious in his plot to bring the galaxy under his rule, only to turn on his master once Padme was saved. Despite his intentions on bringing stability to the galaxy's citizens through that mean, he reluctantly resolved that the actions he was about to take that night were necessary for his goal to come to fruition. While Vader prepared to begin his mission, Lord Sidious enacted Order 66. And under Commander Appo, they marched silently to the gates of the Jedi Temple, where Darth Vader was soon met by Jedi Gate Master Jarok, who at first asked Anakin what happened to the other Jedi who confronted Palpatine. Ignoring his question, Vader asked about the whereabouts of the Jedi Temple current master, Jedi Master Shaak Ti, and after Jarok told him that she was meditating in the temple, Vader stabbed him through the head and led the clones inside. After entering the temple, he proclaimed that the Order's plot to overthrow Chancellor Palpatine had failed. To much of the Jedi's confusion, Vader then began to kill the Jedi and proceeded to stalk through the halls of the temple, eliminating any Jedi he encountered while destroying any mere defense he might have met. And this task was made much easier thanks to the now turned Grand Inquisitor, who would kill a majority of the Jedi Temple guards, leaving the temple without much of a defense. Among the 501st during the operation was the elite clone paratroopers. As the 501st dispersed throughout the temple's valued halls, chaos began to unfold across the temple. We see this with a group of younglings that Reva was with, as their master tried to evacuate them but was killed as they tried to escape. They soon would run into Anakin and his clones, and one by one, they would be executed. After this, Vader would take a small group of clones to capture the communication center via the Jedi archives. Vader would then engage two Jedi who created a force barrier around each other, ensuring that Vader could not kill them as they attacked him. However, Vader held them off long enough that the clone unit he had arrived and killed them. Vader then ordered the commander to take his troops and destroy any and all Jedi ships, ensuring that none of them escaped. Then, Vader entered the Jedi Temple's library with another unit of clones, and told her to grant him access to the communication room under the Supreme Chancellor's order. The reason for this was because he wanted to send a distress call to all Jedi telling them to return home. But when Jocasta Nu ignited her lightsaber to confront the Sith, she cited that only the Jedi Council could authorize such an action. In retaliation, Vader used the Force to impale her with his own saber, killing her instantly. Now this death I just explained here was only in Legends. In canon, it is much different. Filled with shock, the other Jedi in the library ignited their lightsabers and attacked Vader, which Vader easily destroyed. Following this, the clones had confirmed that any and all escaping ships had been destroyed. Vader then posted clones at all exits to ensure that no Jedi could leave or enter to aid the temple forces. They were all alone. But it's imagined that right before this happened, Jedi Master Kelleran Beck would escape the temple with Grogu. Following this, Vader would exit the Jedi Library and continue on his onslaught of killing anyone who got in his way. While the temple was primarily filled with mere Jedi Knights and Padawans and younglings, there were some Jedi Masters, such as Jedi Battle Master Sindralig and Shaak Ti. Vader knew this and made it his priority to kill them personally. As Vader searched through the halls, he would come across a Jedi youngling who, upon seeing Anakin, would run up to him and hug him, believing that he was there to save them, which is truly heartbreaking. It would also be around this time where Anakin would kill one of the only Jedi who still posed a threat. This would happen when Anakin snuck into the meditation chamber and stabbed Shaak Ti in the back, killing her. Around this time, in canon, Jedi librarian Jocasta Nu escaped the temple with a large amount of Jedi information. After securing the Jedi archives, the clones were told to destroy it, ensuring that if the Jedi ever were to return there, they would be met with nothing but death and destruction. At this time, a large group of Jedi would meet up in the temple foyer to form a last stand. The clones charged into the temple foyer to meet heavy resistance from the Jedi and Temple Security Force personnel, eventually clearing the High Council Chamber of Resistance. On Vader's front, a Zabrak Jedi activated a ray shield defense system and hid in a shield-protected room during the carnage. Once Vader had disabled the shields and killed the alien, he and a group of clones were ambushed by a band of Jedi snipers in a hall. To counter this, Vader toppled a large statue to crush them, and used a severed chunk to break his way into the study hall, where he and his party eliminated several Jedi students and a number of Jedi brutes. And when Jedi interceptors were launched in an attempt to cut down the clone forces, Vader commandeered an anti-aircraft gun to shoot them down, and simultaneously destroyed any attempt of escaping Jedi. Making his way to the communication center at the summit of the High Council Tower, he headed there once he had finished off the last ship, and he altered and broadcasted a beacon ordering all Jedi to return home on the authority of the Jedi High Council because the war was over, leading any who heeded the call to their death at the hands of the clones. Meanwhile, the Jedi Battle Master Sindralig managed to penetrate upper-level defenses, and Vader elected to deal with him himself, ordering nearby clone assassins to guard the beacon with their lives. Before tracking down Sindralig, Vader made his way through the first knowledge quarter to one of the many briefing rooms, where Sindralig's former apprentice Sarah Keto confronted Vader and engaged him in a duel. Jumping on a balcony that overlooked one of the many sectors in the Temple of First Knowledge. There, she tried to strike at Vader, but Vader moved away as she cut into a pillar, enabling Vader to topple it, using it to crush her to death. As the remaining Jedi Masters realized the temple was lost, they began to send Jedi Knights and Padawans out through the temple's many hidden exits. Vader made his way to the base of the temple, where he found Master Sindralig guarding a group of fleeing younglings he had been instructing in lightsaber combat in the Room of 1,000 Fountains. After murdering two of Draleg's trainees, the Sith entered a duel with Sindralig alongside his remaining Padawan. After some time dueling, Draleg ordered his Padawan to retreat, beginning to duel Vader personally. Unfortunately, Vader would mortally wound Draleg by stabbing him in the chest. The squad of clones accompanying Lord Vader would then blast the other Jedi Padawans that Sindralig had been protecting. A Zabrak Jedi had also been assigned to protect a group of younglings, but he would be caught by Vader and after a brief duel was struck down. Meanwhile, the 501st Legion secured all 4 Jedi Council chambers and fought the Temple Security Force in the main hall. Vader then returned from his duel with Sindralig and killed a Jedi alongside his troopers, collecting his holocron. As they focused the brunt of the attack on the hall, who had taken somewhat of a military command over the remaining Jedi, led the last of the Jedi into the main hall in a final, desperate attempt to repel the 501st Legion. The Jedi came out in a sudden charge against Vader and his clones, but despite their assault, the 3 Masters were eventually killed alongside their allies. Vader ascended the Jedi High Tower to search the Council Chamber for more survivors, and it would be there that he found an entire clan of younglings. A young boy approached Vader from where the other younglings had hidden themselves, and this youngling, not realizing that Skywalker was now Lord Vader, asked him what the Jedi Jedi were going to do. And in response, Vader executed the entire clan. As the temple burned, Bail Organa landed on one of the landing platforms of one of the Jedi Tower hangar bays to investigate what was going on. But after being turned away by the clones guarding the hangar, the retreating senator witnessed the execution of a Jedi Padawan known as Zet, and the clones then began to fire on Bail until Clone Sergeant Fox ordered them to stand down. As the fighting within the temple began to die down, Darth Sidious arrived at the temple to check on Vader's progress. Vader knelt before his master and was congratulated by the Dark Lord. Sidious then ordered Vader to travel to the Mustafar system and eliminate the Confederacy of Independent Systems leaders, of which Sidious had assembled them there for a final end of the conflict. Truly a dark end to a very dark event. While we may have covered what happened inside of the temple during Order 66, there is still so much about Order 66 that I have not covered. So let me know what you would like to see next in relations to Order 66. If you did enjoy today's video, make sure to like and subscribe, as it would help the channel out a ton. And with that, my fellow Star Wars nerds, may the Force be with you.